All right, how's it going, YouTube? This is Charizard James. You see that right there, right above me? On Twitch live as well. We are going over the Battle of the Guilds, episode 3, featuring IZZET. Now there's a lot of IZZET builds that you can make, but this one here is more of like the Ugin style control build of IZZET. I had tried right before this. I tried a more spell version of it with Stormwing Entity, but it wasn't quite working out, and I want to be able to make this the best competitive deck possible for you guys. So this is what I came up with here. I've played some games before it, and it actually feels very good. It actually is pretty good, like when I played it in my games before this. So we're going to go over the deck tech, and it is very, very good. And I'll let you know a little nuances as well. If you want to know some specific things, like why are you playing this card, or why are you playing that card in your sideboard, and you want some more clarification on that, please leave a comment down in the comments and ask me. I answer every single comment, and it's all me. We're going to go ahead and start with the deck tech. We have two Jwari Disruptions. I wanted a little bit more blue sources in this deck, and I felt like another counterspell is what I needed, so I wanted to add that in my deck. 3 Negates. Negate is very, very good right now because of all of the Gruul advent. Like, you wouldn't think it's good against Gruul, but it actually is very good against Gruul. You can stop Embercleave, you stop the Great Henge, you stop the Crowan War post-sideboard. You can stop basically anything. All of the adventure creatures, their adventure half is a spell. So if you stop the Lovestruck Beast token, you stop the Lovestruck Beast in totality. So it's pretty good against that, and it's good against the other decks as well. So that's why I'm playing 3 of it in the main board, and you'll see why I play 1 in the sideboard. We have 3 Fire Prophecies for those aggro decks, 4 Mazemind Tome to get us through our deck to draw our combo pieces, like a Valakut Awakening to keep drawing our combo pieces. What I say about combo pieces is Fae of Wishes, getting Ironcrag Feet to cast Ugin. That's what we are going to do in an ideal world. But a lot of the time, Fae of Wishes can grab anything else we need, whether it's a Storm's Wrath or Soul Sear or Midnight Clock. Maybe we're playing against Rogues or another control deck, and we want to reset the board here. We can grab a Fire Prophecy, which is why I'm playing 3. We can grab a Negate unless we're playing against like an Ugin style mirror match. So that's the goal of this deck, is to win with Ugin, and we also have a few more win conditions if we can't win with Ugin. We have Bonecrusher Giant. We have, of course, Solemn Simulacrum can attack for 2, but that's not really the win condition, even though it could come up. We have 3 Shark Typhoons in the deck as well, which is a win condition as well, and a Crawling Barrens. Now, we don't play as many Crawling Barrens in this deck like they do in the mono red build, because we need to be able to cast our double red spells on time, and I felt like that we needed to trim on Crawling Barrens in order to hit that 16, 17 red sources in our deck. We also have a few more counter spells in 4 Mystical Disputes and another Negate out of the sideboard. So that's the basic premise of the deck. We have a Field of Ruin in here because I found that I was having a hard time against other Crawling Barrens, so I added Field of Ruin to hedge those matchups. For our sideboard, let's move on to the sideboard. We have all of our Fae of Wishes targets, some of them that I already talked about. Stern Dismissal is if we need to get a powerful creature off the board right away. Like we have 5 mana, we go Fae of Wishes for Stern Dismissal and just bounce it back to the hand real quick. We have Soul Guide Lantern for the red-black sacrifice decks and against rogues in a way. We have Negate against other control decks, or if we know they're playing that one Embercleave in their hand and we need to stop that, we'll go ahead and go for Negate. We have a Fire Prophecy against aggressive decks as well. We have 4 Robber of the Rich, which against other control decks will side out all of our creature aggressive cards, aggressively slanted cards like Storm's Wrath and Fire Prophecy, and bring in all 4 Robber of the Rich for those matchups, because they will be siding out all the removal. So Robert the Rich gets a lot better. We have 1 Midnight Clock in here for the Rogues matchup or for other control decks. Soul Sear for Yorion decks and Lovestruck Beast decks. Ironcrag Feet to facilitate our combo into Ugin on turn 5. We have Storm's Wrath against the aggressive decks as well, just in case we didn't draw our 3 of in the deck. We have Ox of Agonis for the Rogues matchup as well. And maybe we'll side it in against other mid-range decks to get some more card value. We have an Ugin because we can say we don't have Ugin in our hand, but we have Fae of Wishes, and we have like a couple Solemn Simulacrums in our hand. Like, we can go for Ugin off the Fae of Wishes, play our Solemn Simulacrum or whatever, play a land, and be able to cast our Ugin. So it makes Fae of Wishes become 4 extra copies of Ugin if you need to. And then we have 1 Shatterskull Smashing here, which is a way to hit our land drop if we only have 4 lands. We go Fae of Wishes into Shatterskull Smashing to hit our land drop, but also, if we're playing against a mirror match type Ugin deck, or we need to kill Planeswalkers or something, there's not really a card in here that can do that outside of Soul Sear. But what if the Planeswalker has like 10 loyalty, like an Ugin? We want that Shatterskull Smashing in our sideboard to be able to cast Fae of Wishes, get Shatterskull Smashing. Then the next turn, they plus their Ugin or plus their other Planeswalker or whatever, and then we can Shatterskull Smashing for 6 and kill it. So that was a reasonable thing in the sideboard for me to play. So let's go ahead and get on to the games. Once again, if you think I missed a card, or you want to play a different card, or you have a question about any card that I'm playing, make sure to write that down in the comments. I answer every single one. So let's go ahead and get on into the games here. I'm really, really excited about the Battle of the Guild series. This is episode 3. Episode 2 was Orzhov. We made an Orzhov Auras deck, and then episode 1 was Golgari, and we made a Golgari Adventures deck. So if you want to watch those decks as well, they are in the playlist, and they are also in the video section of my YouTube channel as well, which are already here. So let's go ahead and see what we're playing against. Mr. Piggly Sama, number 665 Mythic. We have a red source and a blue source. They're playing Yorion, so we have some time, but Storm's Wrath is very bad against Yorion. So I think I'm going to mulligan this. This is actually just so much worse. If we draw 1 land, we have like triple tome. I don't think we can afford to do that. Okay, this is much better. We keep 5. I think I want to keep the Mystical Dispute, to be honest. Return 2 cards. We have 3 lands here. Jwari Disruption is probably going to be pretty good against Yorion. All these cards are pretty... Maybe we'll just put back the Solemn. Actually, I think I might want Solemn. Maybe we should just put back the Fae of Wishes. Actually, Valakut Awakening you probably need as a land. Wait. This is hard. We go this land first, then we play Riverglide Pathway untapped, holding up this. I'm going to do this because I'm going to try to scry for a land here. Not a land. So let's scry for a land first, just to see if we get one. If we don't get one, we'll... Nope. If we don't get one, we'll play the Jwari Disruption as a land. Interesting. Alright, so I guess we have to play this as a land now. This is Sultai? No, it has to be blue-black control. We drew the worst card in our deck. Oh, it is Sultai. Or it's just Golgari control? It can't be. This is blue. It has to be Sultai. Or 4-color. Or we do this and pass. They draw a card. This is going to be a very long matchup, so we're going to need to rely on our either Ugin to not die or get countered. I'm honestly pretty confused. We go red here, and then Solemn. I do kind of want to hold up Mystical Dispute just in case they play a blue source and then play Yorion from their hand. So I think I'm just going to play Bonecrusher as a creature here. And this is actually good for me. I don't counter the Omen of the Sea because I really do think they have a Yorion in their hand. Because they go blue source, Yorion, and try to reset all their cards, and then the Yorion gets countered. Oh, they're not casting Yorion. Cultivate. Double blue. This Heartless Act. So they're playing blue-black control, splashing green for ramp. I really just want them to play Yorion. Wow. They're playing pretty passive. So they're definitely going to take the Ugin out of my hand, I guess. And then they won't be able to cast Yorion unless they have an untapped land in hand. Which they do. Well. I'm gonna hold it in my hand. The Mystical Dispute. I could make them use their mana. But in case the Ashiok ever minuses, I want to exile this out of my hand. So they're definitely playing blue-black control splash green for ramp. I could, like, they know I have Storm's Wrath. But I should just attack the Ashiok here and hope they don't block. Okay, if they didn't block, I would kill it with Storm's Wrath. It's fine. At least I get to draw a card. Ooh, Fae of Wishes. I mean, we could get an Ugin to our hand. I don't have mana to cast it anyway. We could get the Shatterskull Smashing we were talking about before. But it won't be enough. I think I need to do this. Hope they don't have a counterspell. Alright, so now do I just play Fae of Wishes as a 1/4 and like attack this Ashiok every turn? I don't think so. This is going to be a pretty hard game. Like, very hard game. So I get Shatterskull Smashing here. Pretty sure. A Mystical Dispute's not going to work anymore. I'm very far behind here. They double topped as well. I am definitely okay with Cultivate. But it does give them more mana for these Crawling Barrens, though. This is very interesting, blue-black control playing Cultivate when you would normally be holding up a counterspell on turn 3. So I guess they're playing more of a proactive build and not playing as many counterspells. I got rid of my Crawling Barrens. That's a big deal. Resolves. So at least I get to kill the Ashiok, but I'm very, very far behind.
Welcome to my domain.
If I draw a land, I can. Untap land. Okay. Untap land. Nope. Nope. All right, see you around, Electricity. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully I'll see you again next time. All right, so what do we do here? Do we just lose? Pretty sure we just die. I mean, we're just going to do this, and then we're going to get a red source. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what source I get. All right, and then we are going to concede. Seems good. Seems like we should concede that game. All right. All right, so they're blue-black control, which means we want robbers on the play. We take out Fire Prophecies and 1 Storm's Wrath, or maybe 2 Storm's Wrath for 4 Robber of the Rich and an Ox. Seems good to me. Seems like a pretty smooth sideboard plan. Ox isn't like that good. Thank you very much for the bits, Electricity. I appreciate it. Hopefully I see you again next time. The ideal matchups for this deck are going to be decks that lose to an Ugin, like just these decks right here, like the white-based Yorion decks, the Yorion decks that have Elspeth Conquers Death, a bunch of enchantments, and just a full board, and then you drop an Ugin on it and exile the whole board. This deck is pretty good against control as well, with having 3 main deck Shark Typhoons and a bunch of counterspells. I would say that it's not like super ideal against Gruul aggro / adventures, but we are playing 3 main deck Storm's Wraths, and we are playing 3 Fire Prophecies. So one of the cards that we're going to have a hard time with is probably going to be Lovestruck Beast, but we do have Soul Sear in the sideboard to get with Fae of Wishes. So we're probably behind against the Gruul deck, but we're probably also behind a little bit against Rogues, but we should be good against everything else. I think I just want lands. There we go. Alright, so if I play Valakut Awakening tapped here, that means that I can cast Fae of Wishes on turn 4. But how bad do I need to cast Fae of Wishes on turn 4? I should actually play this tap this turn. Yeah, pretty similar to the Teamer Ultimatum game plan. Yeah. So they take one of our Bonecrushers. So we're gonna go cast Bonecrusher as a 4/3 this turn. They're probably gonna have a removal spell. They took one. That means they can remove the other one usually, most likely. Scry to the top. Remorse again. We have Negate, so I don't think I want to use Fae of Wishes this turn. Actually, do I want to use Fae of Wishes? They don't really have good 4-mana plays, right? And I can get the Shatterskull Smashing to keep hitting my land drops. The only way we get punished here is if we just draw a land next turn. Bloodchief Thirst is a reason that we could keep Negate, but that's fine. I think I just want to save Negate for like Ashiok. I'll use it on this, since this gets rid of Fae of Wishes and my Shark Typhoon. They could have Bloodchief's Thirst, another one, to get rid of my Fae, but yeah. Ooh, Crawling Barrens is great. I scryed at the top there. They could have used Field of Ruin to get me off that top scry. Oh, they're also playing Fae of Wishes? Wow. I thought I was the only one, chat. Drown in the lock? They're just next level right now, I guess. I'm going to do this turn because I can Shatterskull Smashing the Fae of Wishes. The question is, do I cast... Yeah, I need to cast this turn, right? Because then I don't want them to counter it with Drown. That's fine for me. I have 5 cards engraved, so they can kill either one of my cards here. So now I don't have to cast anything for the rest of the game. Until they deal with these 2 cards. They've had like 2 discard spells, 3 removal spells, 4 removal spells. Negate's a huge draw here. Hopefully they just die in 2 turns. Not interested in using Negate on that. We'll use Negate on like a Drown in the Locker, Bloodchief's Thirst, or something. Hopefully we can kill them before this Yorion can come down. Ooh. I'm in for a counterspell, regardless of how bad this one is. Oh my goodness! We did it! Oh my gosh! We countered Kiora Bestisika with Jwari Disruption. Have you ever in your life thought that was possible? Oh my gosh. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and subscribe button, by the way, if you want more of that kind of content. Definitely Heart of the Cards type content here. This is what you're going to get. Land, please. Nope. That is a land. Let's get our robber down. Make them waste a removal spell here. Not really a waste, but you got to get rid of the robber, right? Heartless Act, eliminate. Nope. Next turn we'll go Valakut Awakening, tapped Bonecrush or Mazemind Tome. Probably Mazemind Tome since we need our 4th land and 5th land and 6th land and 7th land. You know. We play Robber in the sideboard of this deck because a lot of the times we're playing a control deck, right? So a lot of the times other control decks side out their removal spells against us because the only thing we really have to remove is like Bonecrusher Giant. And we're playing an Ugin deck, so they're going to want to bring in their negates and things like that. And negate doesn't stop Robber of the Rich, and it gets they're likely to side out their removal spells. But when you're playing a Yorion deck, they usually keep them in because they just don't have many things to take out anyway. But I still like Robber of the Rich. Okay, so what do we do here? I can play another Robber. I think I'll play another Robber. So they get to look at my hand. They probably take like Ugin, Shark, like probably Ugin or Mazemind Tome, I would guess. Yeah, Mazemind Tome. They don't want me to hit my other land drops. Hopefully I draw lands. I mean, at least I have Shark Typhoon to help to draw land. I mean, well, I guess I kept all the removal spells in, so, you know, we're wrong. That is a land. I'm wondering if I should play the Bonecrusher out as a 4-3. I probably should. Alright, so they can't Elspeth's Nightmare this. They have to Bloodchief's Thirst to pay 4 mana to kill this. Midnight Clock, now they have 4 mana left over. Okay, Heartless Act. That works too. Alright, now let's hope to draw a land. Well, there we go. So now we can go Bonecrusher Giant their face and then cast Bonecrusher Giant, or use the Shark Typhoon to draw a card instead of hitting them in the face. I think I like hitting them in the face. Because we're definitely the beatdown here. Like they're gonna win the long game. So we're the beatdown. That's also another reason to play Robber of the Rich, is because I recognize that we need to kill them before they go bananas. My best draw is probably Solemn Simulacrum or something like that, or another Bonecrusher Giant. This Fae of Wishes is good. Fae of Wishes lets us hit our land drop. Fae of Wishes gets Ironcrag. Ironcrag's probably our best bet, but they probably have counter spells. But it's probably our best. James, you know what? I love to see you playing standard games. That is your best type. You learn a lot with you. Thank you very much, Barreto. One of my goals is to... I'm not the best player ever, but... but I do love to help people learn more. They've drawn a couple cultivates this game. I'm assuming they have a counterspell here. So I cast this and let it go through. Then I cast Ugin. And then they counter it. Whoa.
I come bearing the wisdom of the ancients.
They have Crawling Barrens to kill my Ugin. Okay, that makes sense. So maybe I should just go up with the Ugin and hit them. Let's see. I attack here, and then they block, and then I plus on the Yorion. So now the Crawling Barrens can't kill my Ugin. And then I can block the Crawling Barrens with the Shark Typhoon or the Fae of Wishes. Hopefully they don't have a Bloodchief's Thirst in hand, though. Ah. It's right. Our win condition is now Shark Typhoon. Midnight Clock's going to get out of control probably, though. Ooh, that's an Ox. Like, they know I have Shark Typhoon, but it is what it is. So, they're going to be able to shuffle... They shuffle both hands? Shuffle your hand in graveyard? Okay, they're going to be able to do that, then. I don't think Hardcast Shark is what I want to do right now. Like, I don't have a lot of backups. I could have Hardcast Shark there, but I think it has more downsides than it does plus sides. I don't know if plus sides is a word, but that's the word I'm using.
All your fears are given for.
Dispute's good. Upsides, yes. Yeah, upsides, not plus sides. What am I thinking? Alright. I could play the land first, but if I have an untapped land, I can also cast a Fae. And I don't really want to take 3. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if I take 3 or not, right? Plus sides is better than upsides, Mr. Hilario is 100% right. Alright, now I just want to hold up Negate. Elspeth's Nightmare just to cast it? I guess they were trying to bait it out. They could counter this. Nope. Okay. This is tough, because they're going to be able to Elspeth's Nightmare one of my negates out of my hand, and then they're going to know I have negate. But they don't get much off the ultimate, so they're not going to ultimate next turn. But I am definitely pretty far behind here. Pretty far behind. Interesting that they're playing green only for Cultivate. Jwari Solemn. Okay, as long as I don't pick Ugin, I'm fine. Alright. I don't want to bring back the Ox, but I kind of have to because of Elspeth's Nightmare. Wow, now I really don't want to cast the Ox. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Hopefully this doesn't get countered. Alright. It's the little victories, chat. It's the little victories. Except that they get like 1 billion cards off this Ashiok. I don't really have much choice, though.
You cannot intimidate me.
Like, I couldn't bring back the Ox because of this. And then, if I exile for Ox, then their Ashiok gets better. But they kind of put me into, like, a catch-22 there. Because, like, my graveyard's getting exiled anyway, so I might as well bring back the Ox. I feel like their mana base is kind of greedy. Because, like, they're playing a 3-color deck with, like, probably 4 Crawling Barrens. I have 29 cards in deck. Robber is gone, and that Crawling Barrens is gone again. I wonder what they're playing in their sideboard. Nightmare? Yeah, I'm probably done here. Probably done here. I basically just need Shatterskull Smashing or I'm dead. Like, I can Storm's Wrath, but that's not good enough. Oh, wow. And the Negate? Yeah, we're done. On to the next one. Turns out my opponent's deck deserved the number 600 and something rating. That was definitely a deck I've never played against before. Alright, on to the next game. Let's go. Let's keep it going. And if you're still here, I do want to thank you very much for sticking along with me. This deck is very fun, as you just saw. Even though we just lost. But it's fine. It is fine. We roll with the punches, chat. Opponent goes first on Luris. We have a Fire Prophecy and a Dispute, so I think we're doing it. My last opponent's deck was so crazy too, right? They had Kiora Best of Sea God in their deck as well. That was very interesting. Okay, so it's Rogues. No. Oh, nice. I played this deck. This is the deck I played against. Unless this is Mono Black. I played an Orzhov deck for the second one. All right. So I mean for episode 2 of Battle of the Guilds. I think we're just playing Jwari's tapped here. Up. Yeah. We're playing against our deck. What will they have against us? All the glitters? Sentinel's Eyes? Okay. Another one? Mogi's Favor. So that they'll draw 2 cards when we kill this thing. I mean, we kind of have to, though, right? Because they could have, like, Karametra's Blessing in their hand, and that would really, like, mess us up. Okay, so in 2 turns, we can Storm's Wrath something that they put out here. But if it's another Hateful Eidolon, we're going to hate it. Agadeem's tapped. Ooh, this is a cool-looking Agadeem's. Ooh, Ephemia. Okay, Storm's Wrath is going to be pretty good then. I haven't seen this card until draft. I got destroyed by this card in draft one time. It was not fun. Whenever enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. I wonder if they make a 2/2. Nope. Well, that worked out for us, chat. Now we need to draw, like, a way to facilitate our own game plan since we've survived. I mean, unless they have another Agadeem's Awakening to bring back the Wanderer and the Ephemia, we should be fine. With that, they can't do that until next turn. That is a Luris. Alright, I'm going to put back a second Ugin with this Fire Prophecy, and I'm going to hit their Lurrus. If they give me the opportunity. That's a plains that looks exactly like a mountain. They trick me. This is a swamp that looks like an island. They're tricking me. So they're not going to cast Lurrus? What could this be? Just keep that on top. We need to hear land drops for Ugin anyway. They might have like 2 Karametra's Blessings in their hand or something. Or like a couple Aldic Glitters. Which is very scary. Very scary, chat. Alright, there's the Lurrus. I wonder if they go with Femia here. We don't really need to Fire Prophecy unless they like get around Storm's Wrath somehow. I think they have Karametras. I don't even want a Storm's Wrath because I could just Ugin and -3. But like I think I Storm's Wrath because we can't quite cast Ugin yet. So I think I just Storm's Wrath and then I just Storm's Wrath and then play Temple. And then that still lets me hold up Fire Prophecy. I'll take a Bonecrusher. Alright, we should be in solid territory here. Alced, okay. They have Agadeems? No. So now I'll just, I mean, I guess I do want to Fire Prophecy this, because they could still have Karametras, right? And if they have Karametra's Blessing, then the Ugin doesn't kill the Alced. I think they do have Karametras. Oh, okay, sure. They just didn't want me to draw a card. Okay, so they could have Agadeem's Awakening in their hand, which is what I'm assuming. Nope. Alright. So it turns out I just don't want anything, I think. I mean, I could just bring in an Ox for a card that doesn't do anything like Mystical Dispute.
Who did this?
I don't think I have time to get Fire Prophecy off of Fae of Wishes, so I'm going to substitute that as well. Negate is probably better than Mystical Dispute, even though Mystical Dispute can also counter Lurrus. But I think I like the rest of the sideboard here. So Mystical Dispute in this a matchup like this is more just like a 3-mana counterspell. It's just like it's basically just a neutralize if you think about it like that. And neutralize isn't the worst thing in the world against Lurrus. Usually decks that like what my opponent's playing doesn't play enough lands to consistently play around Mystical Dispute anyway, which is the reason why I didn't side all of them out. Like, yes, they have a lot of 1-mana creatures, which when they cast it, it does play around Mystical Dispute, but I'm more worried about the Agadeem's Awakenings and the Lurrus casts and things like that. Maybe even Amaria's Call. I know in my version of the deck I had 4 Amaria's Calls and 4 Agadeem's Awakening in the deck, so We could get we could get them on a Mystical Dispute for sure. All right, opponent. What do we got here? Oh, they're done. Okay, perfect. Waiting on opponent. I'll keep this. Fire Prophecy into Storm's Wrath is basically all I can ask for. And then we have Fae of Wishes later on down the road to maybe get an Ugin for us. And if we draw Ugin, we can get the Ironcrag feat. And Fae of Wishes, notably, is a really good blocker. A 1/4 blocker is pretty good. So hopefully they play a 2-mana Aura here so we can kill it with Fire Prophecy on our turn. Ooh, I played this card too. I played this card in my deck. I think I kill the Envoy here because it makes their stuff cheaper. I don't want them to cast like 3 auras this turn. At least the rest can't get rid of my Bonecrusher Giant. Or the Fae of Wishes, for that matter. Attack for 1. Okay. Alright, so they're planning on whiffing my Bonecrusher Giant with the IZZET. Like, using its ability. So I'm going to make it as difficult on them as possible to do that. Next turn, I might just cast Fae of Wishes as a 1/4 and still hold up Bonecrusher Giant. Well, now I'm definitely doing that. So now it makes it easier for them to attack here, and then Lurrus bring back the IZZET, but they know I have Bonecrusher, so they're not going to do that play. Unless they have Karametra's Blessing. Well, Karametra's Blessing doesn't even stop it anyway, because Lurrus isn't an enchantment creature, and it wouldn't be enchanted if they did that play. Stone Coil. Okay. Alright, so now I guess I just go Fae of Wishes for Ugin. Well, I mean, I don't really have to do that. I could just Fae of Wishes for Storm's Wrath. Or I could Fae of Wishes for Stern Dismissal. I think I'm going to do that. I could also go for... Yeah, I could just go for Storm's Wrath, Soul Sear, or Stern Dismissal. I think I'll go for Stern. I like putting my opponents in predicaments. So they have a Transcendent Envoy in their graveyard they can bring back. Although I don't think they're going to want to do... I don't think they're going to want to tap out. I don't even know if I want to Stern Dismissal the Stonecoil Serpent. Oh, another one. So now I'm definitely going for Storm's Wrath. Oh, I don't have to go for Ugin anymore. Now this is red, so I can go for Ironcrag Feet here. And then now I can just hold up my cards. So now I have Bonecrusher Giant and Stern Dismissal up, and then next turn I can Ironcrag into Ugin. But Ugin doesn't deal with Stonecoil Serpent, so I'm going to want to bring the Fae of Wishes back to my hand to get the Storm's Wrath. So I think I just used the Fae of Wishes, discarding the Bonecrusher and the Stern Dismissal. Maybe. Because I can't Fae of Wishes and let's see. Actually, I could take 8 here, or I can block the Stonecoil and then Stern Dismissal the Sentinel's Eyes. I think we're just going to take 8 for now. My go. Very relevant that Stern Dismissal can bounce enchantments. Now I can go up on the Stonecoil. And all said can't protect the Stonecoil because Ugin is not doesn't have a color. I'm curious on why they left mana up here. Is that because I knew I had is that because they knew I had the Ugin play in hand? Probably. But my Bonecrusher Giant will not be able to block the Stonecoil Serpent because it will be a 5/5 from the Sentinel's Eyes, so I'm not out of the woods yet. Let's see what I can do here. If I draw an untapped land, I can go discard my draw for turn for the Fae of Wishes and the Bonecrusher Giant, add it back to my hand, use the Fae of Wishes for a 2-mana card and use it. Well, what 2-mana cards do I even have? That doesn't work. They have double Sentinel's Eyes? They're going for me. I think I take my opportunity to block this because next turn they could get rid of my Fae of Wishes and I would die. Or they could make it... They still have the play to make it unaffected by blue. Or, well, not unaffected. Protection from blue. But I can always kill the Alcid with the Ugin. Definitely not out of the woods yet. If I -1 this, then they'll just use the ability in response, protecting their Sentinel's Eyes, and it would go to the graveyard. Solemn Simulacrum wasn't a bad draw there, though. Not bad. I want to be able to set it up to where I can Fae of Wishes for Storm's Wrath, and then Storm's Wrath to Stormcoil, and then plus the Ugin on the Stormcoil to kill it.
Not ignore my draconic talents.
So I do this, and I do... this, I think. And then my next turn should be Fae of Wishes, discard Bonecrusher, and my draw for turn to add Fae of Wishes back to my hand, then use Fae of Wishes for Storm's Wrath, and then hopefully I don't die on the following turn after this. But it's not looking very promising because they have a Stonecoil attack on this turn. But we'll see how it goes. They get back Alcid. And then they can say protection. They can say protection from blue. And then I can block with Solemn. And then I go to 3 life. I don't think they would do that, though. I think they'll just attack for 6. I mean, maybe they attack Ugin. Because my Ugin's going to ultimate. They go attack Ugin and then Alcid protection from blue. Okay. So if my goal is Storm's Wrath anyway, if my goal is like minus Ugin, draw Storm's Wrath and play it, then I'm gonna want to Stonecoil. I'm gonna want to use the Bonecrusher on Stonecoil, but then they have Alcid. So I'm gonna need to. I'm pretty sure I should just block with just this. Maybe. Because Storm's Wrath doesn't actually kill the Stonecoil Serpent if the Alcid gives this protection from red. I don't think. Because then it won't take damage from it. Huh. I should probably block with Fae, though. So I don't take any damage this turn. I really don't want to go to 3. Ooh, that actually matters a lot. Ooh. Wow, that matters a lot. So I can Bonecrusher the Alcid, they protect the Stonecoil from red, and then in response I double Bonecrusher the Stonecoil. And then I have to plus Ugin on the Stone Coil to kill it, but then they still have Luris. So what I can do is I can plus... If I Ugin -3, then I think I can kill the Stone Coil. So Ugin -3... Yeah, the weird time where I don't ultimate Ugin. Very, very weird sequence. Really, really weird sequence there. Holy crap. Wow. Can you imagine triple Bonecrusher Giant? Jeez. Eidolon making me pay mana for my Ugin. Euphemia, okay. I mean, I'm still going to -2. I'm pretty sure I needed all 3 Bone Crushers for the Stonecoil Serpent because it was a 6/6. Oh, it had double Sentinel's Eyes on it? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. The Sentinel's Eyes were going to drop off. So I really only needed 2 Bone Crushers. Well, they weren't going to fall off. They were going to get exiled. But yeah. I guess it wouldn't work if they had protected one of their... No. Yeah, I think you were right. That was actually really good. That was really cool. That was really cool. All right, let's move on to the last match. Let's go. Let's go. Last match. That was a cool win, though. We almost got killed by that Stonecoil Serpent. But Ugin is a good card. I mean, Ugin can't exile Stonecoil Serpent, so we had to kind of do it the hard way, but still. This person is 100% older than me. Alright, only blue mana. We have an extra draw. We're on the draw. I have an extra draw. I have 2 extra draws. I have double Solemn to get to our red mana. Keep. I've convinced myself, chat. Okay, well, since they started with Lovestruck Beast, we are in trouble. They didn't have a turn 2 play. That makes me excited. All right, so hopefully we can get them on a... Well, they're gonna play Lovestruck, right? Wow, Phoenix of Ash. Interesting. You don't really see that in main decks. Okay. I need to draw lands more than life itself, so I think I have to just play this Mazemind Tome. Let's put a stop on our upkeep. Oh, is this a Embercleave? Yikes. I regret holding up Negate now. I regret not holding up Negate, I should say. So now I think we're just dead. It's a land, but I need an untapped land. I mean, this is the most expensive untapped land ever. But we're dead, right? Because this pumps itself. Yeah, we're dead. This is 10 damage by itself. All right, next game. We don't have time to Fae for Prophecy. We don't have time to Fae for Soul Sear. We can Fae for everything else. Let's get a couple disputes out of here, I think. Everything else seems fine. Let's go. Let's go. Hopefully we don't get slaughtered in this game. I did say that Gruul was one of our iffy matchups. But we don't really usually see... I could have... If I had another land in my hand, I wouldn't have been forced to play the Mazemind Tome, and I would have been able to negate the... I would have been able to negate the Embercleave. Striderstone, thank you very much for the raid. Thank you for following the team, Ball 1. Welcome to the Goose Gang, everyone. Goose salute to you. As we struggle our way through a Gruul matchup, this stand's pretty good. We just don't have enough lands. I mean, we're on the play, so I think we can handle this. How was your stream, Stratostone? All right, we go Awakening first because I have this Bonecrusher I want to use. Storm's Wrath is good. Although it doesn't kill the Lovestruck Beast, which I'm upset about. Upset. I'm upset. Alright, I would like a land, please. Thank you. I would love land. Brushfire. Play a land. Attack for 4. Made a mono red deck that destroyed everyone in Mythic. Isn't that what mono red does? Mono red ramp in Historic. Mono red ramp in Historic. That is a thought. That is a thought. If you're not keeping 2 landers, I don't know what you're doing with this deck. I mean, to be fair, we have Mazemind Tome, which is also just a tutor. Mazemind Tutor is what I call it. It just gives you what you want. I mean, that's a removal spell that also draws a land, so I'm keeping it. I mean, what did I tell you? I mean, what did I tell you? You just have to believe in the heart of the cards. Harbinger. Eat my Storm's Wrath with my Mazemind Tutor. Well, just kidding. That's awkward. So we can't deal with an Embercleave, so we should just hold up Negate. Hey, Lord Bulbul, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the Goose Gang. Tomb is 100% a tutor. Tomb gets you what you want. Or Tome, I should say, not Tomb. Mazemind Tome. Questing Beast. That could be a problem. Gain 4 life, draw land. I mean, that is a card that draws a land. Question is, what do we put back? I actually don't think we have time for Ugin here. And what did I say? We draw lands when we want to draw lands, chat. This is the drawing land stream. Hopefully, we just have to hope they don't have another questing beast in hand. Like, my most mana efficient play is to Bonecrusher this 1/1 and then cast Bonecrusher and hope they don't have Embercleave. Is that my best play? Or I should just go the safe route and just Storm's Wrath. I'm going to go the safe route since I'm, like, close to, I mean, they also could just have another questing beast and I would die. I mean, hopefully they don't. Alright, this kind of hints me that they have a 1/1 in hand. Like, they could have a 1/1 and Embercleave, right? They could go, like, 1/1 land cleave. So I should just hold up all these cards here. Because they could have, like, multiple 1/1s, right? Oh, they could have Bonecrusher. Oh, that works too. Alright, so hopefully they don't have basically anything. Alright, excited about the Fable Passage drop here. Let's get excited about winning this game. Let's win this game. Let's go. Casting Bonecrusher? Sure. Have a wonderful rest of your night, Stratostone. See you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for the raid. By the way, shout out to Stratostone. Take care of the citizens? That I will. Alright. So, if our plan is to Storm's Wrath... Okay, let's draw an untapped land that doesn't hurt us. Because we can Storm's Wrath plus, like, Bonecrusher this Lovestruck. Or I could Fire Prophecy the Lovestruck and Bonecrusher the Lovestruck. I play both Standard and Historic, AJF. Alright, so I have to hope they don't have a 1/1 here. So, I mean, I could just cast my Solemn. Okay, now I think my best play is cast Solemn. Hopefully don't have a... Hope they don't have an Embercleave. I actually think that's my best play. Like, they have to have a not... They have to not have a 1/1 and not have a cleave. But we have to play risky here because we're not in a good spot. They can't have 1/1, can't have Embercleave, can't have Bonecrusher. But if they have it, then they have it. Yeah. Our best plan that game was to hope they cast this second Bonecrusher, then Storm's Wrath, and then we can come back in the game. I think the risk that I took that turn was warranted. Like, we could have Storm's Wrath this one Bonecrusher Giant, and then they just play the other one the following turn, and we can't kill it because we're at 2 life with our Fire Prophecy. Then they just cast the Bonecrusher again, and then they have the Embercleave anyway. So we die anyway if they have Embercleave regardless. So if we die to Embercleave regardless, we should just play like they don't have Embercleave, because that gives us the best chance to actually win the game. When you're behind like this, you need to be taking a little bit more risks to try to get back in the game. And I think the risk that we took by hoping they didn't have Embercleave in that case was correct. Even though we lost, I think it was correct. Because, like, say they don't have Embercleave and they have, like, another card. Like, say it's even a bad card for us, right? Say they have, like, Edgewall Innkeeper. And they go Edgewall Innkeeper, and then they cast, like, Bonecrusher, so that takes 4 mana. And then they have 3 mana left. And then they cast, like, another creature, right? Which would be, like, really good for them, right? Then we have this draw off the Simulacrum, so we have 5 cards in our hand to start our next turn. Then we go Storm's Wrath, wipe everything except for the Lovestruck Beast, and then Bonecrusher the Lovestruck Beast. So now they have nothing. And they've used all of their resources. So I think the play I did gave us the best odds to win, even though we were behind, and it just didn't work out for us that game. All right, so once Arena loads, because it's taking forever, we're gonna go back to our deck here and go over some final thoughts about our Battle of the Guilds, Episode 3. IZZET UGIN deck. Okay, what do I think? I think this deck, I think this deck's pretty competitive. This deck's pretty competitive. It's probably lands on like the tier 2 to tier 1.5 line. You could do some other things to make this deck a little bit more competitive and tweak it a little bit, but I think some things is that I maybe want to improve on is I kind of want to find a way to add another 1 or 2 Crawling Barrens in this deck without taking away from the mana efficiency. I do want, not mana efficiency, without taking away from the ability to cast my Storm's Wrath on turn 4, basically. Because this deck right now has 1, 2, 3, 4 Valakut Awakening, 3 Shatterskull Smashing, that's 7, 8, 9, 10 with the mountains, 11, 12, 13, 14. This has 18 red sources. So realistically, we can actually cut a red source from this deck to put in a second Crawling Barrens. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. We have 13 when you count Jwari Disruption, 13 blue sources, which is around where we want to be. So the final thoughts of this would be to add 1 more Crawling Barrens and cut 1 other card. I don't know what I would cut though, but we were land screwed a little bit more than I wanted to be, and I wanted 1 more Crawling Baron. So that's the final thoughts of this IZZET UGIN deck. Please try this for yourself. I really like playing this. It's really fun. I love Fae of Wishes, getting whatever you want out of the sideboard. Ugin's a very powerful card. So if you want to play more of like an IZZET control style deck, please try this deck out. And our highlights for sure was the Jwari Disruption countering their Kiora Best to Sea God was one of the major highlights of this run for sure. So have a wonderful rest of your day, folks. Once again, this is Charizard James. Check me out on Twitch if you want to catch me live. Make sure to mash that subscribe button if you're still watching, and hit the notification bell as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day, folks, and I'll see you for episode 4 of Battle of the Guilds.